Well, it looks like it's time. If we want to start or if we want to give a little bit more time, we can.
I say let's jump in. If you snooze, you lose. You got to catch up.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So thank you guys for coming. And again, if you have questions, just type them into the text chat channel just above the AMA, and we'll try to get everything answered as we're going through it. First thing I'm going to show off here is the Wallet Connect, something that will be live here in the next version coming soon. So you can't see the...
Can you quickly introduce yourself for all of our newcomers, please?
Sorry. Hi, I'm Scott Brown. I'm the developer on the Unreal side of things.
Yeah, hi, I'm Mo. I'm a moon donkey in the STARL Metaverse.
Hey, I'm Johnny. Operations dude of STARL Project. Thanks all for coming.
Yeah, thank you for coming today, everybody. If you are new to STARL, welcome. I'll drop the link how you can download the Metaverse and demo Warp Nexus in the chat. If you have any questions, please drop them in this AMA chat and we'll try to get to everything. And we're going to get started now. Thank you.
Take it away, Scott.
All right, so here I am. I've logged in with my wallet, and I'm in the starting area of the STARL Metaverse. The first thing it's going to ask me to do is to customize my character. We have a lot of different customization options, all kinds of fun stuff. You can mess around with different styles, body types. You can change your arms, you could change different holograms. You can put badges on yourself, all kinds of cool ways to be yourself. I'm going to run on in here into what we call the hub. This is sort of the main staging area of the game where all of the different parts of the metaverse will connect from here. And we've got several already live now that you can go check out. And then I'm going to be showing off mostly Warp Nexus here, stuff that's about to launch here very soon. So we will start with the living module. This is for people who've purchased the living module NFTs. You're going to be able to come in. You have your own place in space, as well as it gives you the ability to earn pass points, which is our in-game currency based on the STARL token. So I'm going to hop in. For anyone who hasn't seen it, I'm just going to quickly kind of hop in and run around. So here I am inside of it. It's going to start talking to us when we start walking around. I'm just going to kind of ignore it and open up a window. Every one of these has a view out into space, and depending on where yours is located, you'll have a different view. And then the better the module you own, the closer to the planet you'll be.
Please watch your step.
So here I am looking out at Saturn from our fancy living module.
Yeah, we love the view of space, right? And as you purchase upgrades, you can get different views of different parts of the galaxy. You'll be able to position different parts of the STARL Metaverse. Really beautiful.
And then all inside here, these locations on the walls are where you're going to be able to display NFTs you own. And down here is the production area. In the test module, we don't actually have anything to show off, but you will be showing all that off soon. Once the release is live, you'll actually be able to go into your living module and check it out. We've talked about it before, but owning a living module actually earns you pass points every day. And if you come in and you play the production game, you can actually double the amount you earn each day by logging in, collecting production from your own living module as well as visiting others to gain all of the components you need.
Yeah, it's like a game within the game, right? So you can earn those pass points if you engage daily and you do the activities. So it's kind of like, the idea of the more we can engage, the more fun you can have. The more pass points you can earn, you can use for things like customizations, future events. Definitely suggest everyone, get a living module, get a PAL, and be ready for that when it goes live because it's going to be pretty soon.
Yes, very soon, hopefully. This is the Starcade. This is where you're going to be able to go check out some of the different arcade games. They will all be able to be played with pass points again. So there's going to be a lot of utility from the STARL token inside the game via converting your STARL tokens to pass points.
And the reason we're using pass points is because it offers a gasless solution to not have to verify transactions every time you want to do an in-game activity, right, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. We don't want to be charging you huge gas fees for small transactions in game, and so the pass points gives us a way to spend those in game. It also is unlocking something that we're really excited to show off, where you're going to be able to purchase in-game NFTs for much lower cost than something like a Pixelnaut or a living module was. And these will be character customizations, ship customizations. Those will all be purchased with pass points. You'll be able to get them and utilize them in game, never spending any gas. However, if you want to put them in an official wallet and then take those NFTs off to OpenSea or whatever else, you can absolutely do that and pay the gas sort of whenever is convenient.
Yeah, it's an amazing solution. It keeps everything in-house and it makes it so we don't have to use a layer 2 solution, because a lot of time with these finance bridges, like unfortunately we just saw with BSC a couple days ago, there was a big hack and over $500 million were actually stolen. So this keeps everything safe, secure, and we always have a backup copy of those transactions that occur because we have our own backend database and SQL. So that's how we manage that. Someone wanted to see the ship when you ran by, Scott. It caught their eye. We'll have to show it off when he goes back out.
I'll stop on the way back out. This is the arena. I thought I'd kind of show it off really quickly, where we do concerts and events. It's giant. It can fit a ton of people inside. Hopefully next time we have a concert, you'll come check it out if you haven't. There's a dance floor with the DJ down in the middle. You can hop on our different colored dance floors to change the lighting in the arena, and you can visit our cool VIP rooms all around the edge if you prefer the sort of more stand out of the whole thing and kind of enjoy it from afar. You can do that as well. And of course you can dance. My avatar dances much better than I actually do.
I just want to quickly mention that we're going to have a Halloween event coming up this month, which we'll be announcing in the next few days. So please keep your eyes peeled. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I want to make sure I don't want to sip this. So here's one of the new ships showing off some of the cool ship customization you're going to be able to do here shortly.
Yeah, imagine how cool that'll look too, flying in game, right?
Yep, and you're going to be able to change animations and colors and how they tile. There's going to be all kinds of cool customization you can do on your ships.
What kind of ship is that?
That is a transport ship. So that's kind of
That's why it barely fits.
Yeah,
it's lots of capacity for cargo.
Yeah, absolutely. Where like the starting ship only can carry about 3 meters worth of stuff, this can carry more like 35 meters, cubic meters.
That ship is thick. That is a thick ship.
Before we go too far from dancing, I thought I'd show off meditation. And you can either go by yourself, we have a special room for that, or you can go into the group. So I'll show you the group meditation area. So here you can hear, hopefully you can hear the calming music. And you can choose whether you like the cool color shifting roof, or you can actually open it up. Let me open it up here. You'll see the roof start to open up and you can look out into space. And then we actually have a guided meditation you can listen to. And we're going to be adding some other different meditations over time to sort of find your own Zen here in our metaverse.
Yeah, we've talked to some people that they work with sound healing, they work with like spoken word poetry that are interested in doing some future spoken kind of guided meditation. So that should be fun too. Is the fact that a space like this, you know, it really focuses on the mental health aspect of the crypto side, but we can invite people in from different facets across other projects and different things that they're working on to be part of the STARL Metaverse in this space.
Yeah, I also want to mention we did a group live stream meditation here on Discord for World Mental Health Day. And that was sort of the kickoff of doing a community approach. So if people in different, like languages want to host one, it's open. It's for the community. You could invite a few people or lots of people, do it in your native language, try breathing techniques or sound, whatever you'd like to do. It's for all of us.
And I'll show the personal area too real quick. We're interested to see what it looks like. So similar choices in here, much smaller room, just for me.
So calming.
I feel the zen.
All right, enough relaxing. Let's go start dancing some. Oh, I just saw the question. How many ships will there be? To start, there's going to be 4 different ones, but we'll be adding hopefully a lot just from there. They're really focused on the roles. So do you want something that's a fighter? Do you want something that is a mining ship, a transport ship, a pirate ship? So it's more about the role you want to play. We'll have different ships that allow you to play those different roles. Here's the Pixelnaut Lounge, which is a cool area only for owners of Pixelnauts to come and hang out.
Yeah, and even just with 4 ships, there's ways to customize in different skins, and so each ship can be unique in its own way.
So here we are in the lounge. And it's got its own little special dance floor, everything pixelated. Jam off in here. Again, this is just one of the exclusive things you get from owning a Pixelnaut. All right. So let's head over to Warp Nexus and check it out. I'll stop here on the way and kind of show off some of the PALs we have. PALs are what allow travel inside of Warp Nexus, and if you own a PAL, it gives you all kinds of cool visual customizations you can do that are only available with PALs. But the big thing to me is, if you own a PAL, you'll never pay anything else to fly in Warp Nexus. It gives you basically unlimited flight in Warp Nexus forever. So here's some of the different PALs. And these are available right now on the STARL marketplace.
Yep, and he did say forever.
Right. It's a big deal.
I mean, yeah, honestly, I've been in the NFT space for a while now, and I will say that's a pretty cool utility. Like, you don't see a lot of NFTs that are moving past the stage of just being PFPs, right? So this is something that allows you to engage with the AAA game title on Unreal Engine 5 for free for the entirety of what we're building, iterating, and creating more excitement and adventure that you can do in game.
So it's the first NFT series created in Unreal 5 too.
Oh yes, absolutely. So this is the Prime Station, the originating station inside of Warp Nexus. Here's the Oracle, who's created a lot of the technologies, allowed us all to travel between the stations, and kind of kick-started the space travel in the Warp Nexus universe. You can come in here and you can learn about all the different species that exist, and we'll actually travel to some of the different ones now. So this is the ship equipment screen showing off my current ship. Here's all the things I have equipped. And then here's all the things I have in inventory. And I'll kind of go through all that in a minute, but I wanted to pull this up really quick. We have a full active economy running all the time, and it's all based on the actions of players and what they do inside the game. So if I come in here, this shows me everything that's in stock on Prime. Again, this is what I have in my inventory. But if I click this, I can see like here's all of the commodities in Warp Nexus, and every single commodity has a different price and currency on each station. You'll see here's the price of it on all these different stations. Here's how many they have. This tells you up here, aluminum is an ore. It tells you the sector it's mined in, your chance of getting it, and then all the recipes that actually use this particular ore. And the economy is forever dynamic. So when you log in and you say, oh, today there's a great, aluminum is cheap here and expensive there, so I'm going to start running it back and forth between those. There's no guarantee that tomorrow when you log in, that'll still be the case. If everybody starts running it there, then the price will drop in one place and increase in another. And it's all based on what's really going on with things being made, supply, supply and demand kind of economics going on. There is ore, which I showed is something that must be mined, and it always tells you your chance of getting it and what sector to get it in. And then there's these components, which they tell you here's the parts it's made out of, and here's the parts it's used for. So I can look at something like conduit is used in CPU and robotics. You can look at CPUs. You can see that they require conduit, but they're used for these following things. So every item in the game, I try to explain to you here. I don't want people to have to like go to a web page to figure out like, oh, what's the recipe for this thing, or how do I get here or there? Like, I'm trying to give you all the information here so you can see where it's available, what the prices are, what it's used for. Everything is all displayed for you right here in the marketplace.
Yeah, amazing. I find that it's very intuitive, right? The click through, the UI, everything is like very visually engaging, and it really draws you into the process.
What? Come on, man.
So if we look at the way
that city?
The way the game works is every piece of equipment is sort of the end of all of the recipes. And so if you look like if I take like this Cobra gun, it shows you here's all the stats about this particular item. And if I wanted to rebuild it, I would need to repair it. I would need all of these parts, and I would have to have it on this particular station in order to build this item. And so what you're going to be doing in gameplay is you're going to be, destroying ships, finding these, salvaging these broken parts, and then bringing them back and then looking at the stats of them and deciding, is this something I want or something I don't want? And if it's something you want, then you're going to need to go collect the parts for it and repair it.
So what would happen like if there's what would happen if there's a big battle in one sector? Like how would it affect the prices?
Well, it all depends on what was in the battle, right? So if someone was taking, let's just say, I don't know, gallium, and it's in high demand, and so they had this really valuable asset in their cargo hold, especially if they were in one of those big haulers. If someone was to destroy them, all that gallium would spill out into space, and players could pick it up and return it into the stations. Or if nobody picks it up, it just gets lost, and now that item becomes even more in demand. Let's look at these two shields. So you can see like, oh, I see, or it's a radar, sorry. So that's how much power this one takes and what its range is. And if I compare it to this one, you can be like, this one takes more power and has shorter range, so obviously I don't want this one. And then you can compare also to stuff I already have. Like, so I have a beam weapon right now, and when I click this one, it's like, well, the energy is going to be more, so it's red, and the range is less, so it's red, but the damage to shields and to armor is more. And so every item is like this. There's random stats, random ranges of values, and you're constantly going to be trying to tweak them and improve them to get your ship better. So
yeah, that's great how it automatically compares to what you already have on board. So it's a really quick and easy visual frame of reference, right?
Yeah, that's the idea, because there's a lot of stats to remember, and so I tried to just color code it, make it simple. These are the things that are better, these are the things that are worse. So this is the system threat status, and this is showing you all of the sectors in the game. Right now it looks sort of in the middle, except for Shadow Company is incredibly peaceful. It can go all the way to red. What it means is the more threat, the more enemies are going to be present when you try to fly missions in there, so the less chance you'll succeed. And the way to improve the threat is by flying patrols in those sectors, and the more patrols people fly, the threat goes down, but the more missions that fail, the threat goes up. So again, everything is based on the actions of players, and it's constantly sort of changing the game. And then we have these sort of fun weather systems that can kind of break it up, that move around between the different sectors, that can cause your radar to malfunction, your shields to malfunction, or boosting to malfunction. Really just trying to differentiate that when you fly in a particular sector, if there's weather in there, it's going to be very different than flying it without. Over here is the missions that are all created based on the economy. And so right here, this is showing, I'm on Prime right now, and it's saying, hey, these are all the missions that Prime needs right now, and these are all created based on real economic demand. And so, like, obviously Prime is saying I need chassis, I need core, because Prime builds the majority of the ships, and these are components of ships. And so it's like, hey, I really need some of these because I'm trying to build more ships right now. There's always a patrol available, and the more risk the patrol, the more it will pay. And of course you get XP for flying all these missions, and credits, in-game credits for doing them. If I come over here, this is where I could make my own mission. So if you don't want to play the missions that are available from the system, you can always make a handful of your own. So you can always do a mining mission, and I try to help you. So depending on what you're looking for, it'll change it to the system that has that particular ore, so that it'll help you kind of find it, so you don't have to remember, where is iron again? You can do transport missions. Now, I don't have anything to transport, so it's not going to let me do it, but this would be for an example of like, hey, I see this great price. I want to run some of my own goods over there and buy low, sell high. This is where you could do that yourself. The station doesn't have to be requesting that for you to do it. And then courier is simply, hey, I just need to get to another sector, so I'm going to pick where I want to go and I'll fly there. And then something I think that's pretty unique to us is we have what's called an item request mission, where let's say you have this item you wanted to repair and you don't want to deal with going and collecting the parts for it. You can actually come in here and say, hey, I need conduit and I need it on station wherever, and depending on what that station pays for the item, it'll change the price, and as well as how many you want. So you basically prepay into this, and then other players can fly these missions for you. So players will be creating content for other players as well. And then finally, I'll show kind of, this isn't active yet, but the way multiplayer works is you basically put yourself into queues for the role you're willing to play. So if you want to basically escort players or defend them on missions, you can put yourself in that queue. Or if you're interested in pirating other players and taking from them, you can put yourself in that queue. And when someone creates a mission, if they choose a PvP or a co-op mission, when it starts up, it'll go say, hey, is there anybody in these queues? It'll invite them into the mission. Everybody says, okay, and then you're all hopping and you're all playing together right at once. So it's really seamless and fast to play with other people.
Yeah, amazing. I love that you can do automated missions, right? Like the game fills in for you, so you can always enjoy the mission that you want to play and not have to wait for people to come.
Correct. The AI fills in basically whatever players don't, and it's the same with missions itself. So if players aren't taking the missions that the stations are creating, eventually AI tries to take the missions and resolves one way or the other whether the items moved around or not. So the game will always be moving and changing, even if players aren't doing anything. It just tries anything players do, players move to basically the front of the line, but the AI will always fill in. And so if you only have co-op mission, then the AI will play the role of pirates. Or if you have pirates but nobody chose to co-op, then AI will fill the role of your defender. So you can really do kind of anything you want, play however you want. Even if you play single player and you never play with another player, you're all in the same universe, and the actions you take all still affect the game for everybody else. So if I'm single player and I'm running patrols in Prime, I'm going to be bringing down the threat level that's going to affect all the other players who are playing there as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. Scott, can you think of any other game that has that level of dynamic control built in? Because that seems really unique to me from my experience in gameplay.
Depends on what we mean. So in terms of economy, like Eve is probably the gold standard of real player-driven economy gameplay.
Right. Yeah, which Eve is an amazing game, of course.
Right. It's the best ever made in terms of true player economics. However, the gameplay style is a very sort of slow-paced. You might play for an hour before you even see another person, where this is meant to be more action-based. You're in and out of combat quickly. So, it's more dynamic, in the cockpit type controls like Star Wars versus like Star Trek, like on the bridge controlling a big giant ship sort of play. So Eve is probably the closest I've seen in terms of the economic part of it. But I don't know of anybody who's done something that's kind of in the action genre similar to the style of what we're doing here. Sorry, I saw there's a question. What do you do with credit?
I have to admit it sounds nice. It sounds kind of addictive. Like I'm ready to play now.
So what you do with credits is you buy ships and you buy and sell commodities. And so basically the more money you have, it's going to allow you to buy the more and more, like to trade the more and more expensive parts. So when we go down here to kind of the bottom pieces, these are the more expensive parts. If you want to actually, like you could see like the amount you could make buying and selling a finished module is like 400 credits, where if you kind of are up at the start, the difference you can make between these is 15, right? So the more credits you have, it's going to allow you to trade more and more expensive items, and then the money you have is what allows you to basically pay other players to run missions and eventually buy bigger and better ships for yourself. And of course, anytime you build equipment, there's also, not only do you need the parts, but you have to cover the cost of the build as well. Hopefully that answers that question. So I'm gonna hop in and I'm gonna quickly I'm gonna show off a couple different maps that people haven't seen really fast, and we'll kind of hop in and out of them just to kind of give an idea of where we are. So I'll start with this one, to Tamaria. In the Tamarian sector here, and since I just chose the simple courier, you can see kind of in the top left it says mission status, transport to jump point. All I have to do is get there. However, it says below warp blocked because these guys all have the technology on their ship to stop me from jumping, so I have to take these guys out. So let's take out enemies, and then we can kind of hop on to the next area.
No pressure now.
Yeah, don't blow this.
Yeah. Come on, Scott. Show us your skill. Man, I swear it looks better and better every time you jump in to play the game.
Yeah, I love these like dark remote sectors with the ore and the mining.
Yeah, and we're going to be adding more and more. So here's an example. I just killed this guy, and he dropped a shard. So I'm going to pick it up. And now you can see down in the bottom right, my cargo, I have a shard in it. And let's take out this dude. Switch weapon. The game, the flight has all kinds of cool stuff. You've got weapon groups, you've got different styles of weapons. So ammo weapons are better against shields, beams are better against armor, and there's different guns that are actually a combination of both, but they take an incredible amount of power. So it's always about sort of balancing the different components of your ship together. Ooh, he dropped two things. All right, and then I'm going to, you always get this kind of nice blue arrow that kind of points you where you need to go. So I'm gonna head on out of here. We took out those guys. And then I'll hop in and show off a couple other sectors just so people can kind of get a sense of what's going on. It's still going to be pretty simple, but this is what everyone's going to be able to fly here shortly. You'll be able to try all these different mission types, fly to the 16 different maps, start collecting different and rebuilding different equipment and powering up your ship. That's stuff you'll all be able to do here very, very soon. But now I'm here on a different station. So I can come in here and I should have got some new equipment. I'm going to go sell everything so it's a little more obvious what happened. But basically the play loop is, let's say I really, we decided I like this Sentry. So now I need to go collect these parts, right? So that's what I would be doing. I would say, okay, I want to build this. So I need to go get titanium, copper, zinc, RF transceivers, and semiconductors. And I need to get those all onto the Mycenians station. And then I'll be able to build this new radar and equip it on my ship. So that's kind of the role here. So I'm going to just sell everything so you guys can kind of see it out. You can buy or sell things on any station. To build something, you must have the parts on the station that builds it. So the risk in the game is basically the transport of the objects. When you die, you don't lose anything. When you join up to be part of the Nexus group, they give you a deal where they'll replace your ship and your equipment and allow you certain salvage rights. In return for you not being able to actually build the equipment yourself, you've got to find it and repair it on your own. I'm going to sell off some of this stuff. There's also a lot of profit to be made if you actually repair these items. They actually sell for much more than they do broken. So another way to make credits is to collect the components, repair the things, and then sell them off in the station. All right, so let's go fly a different mission here. Let's go to the slate. Basically, you're always warping through these zones and then coming out. You're getting pulled out because of the tech on these other ships.
Yeah, the maps are so beautiful. You said there's 16. Is that correct, Scott? Initially.
Yeah, there'll be 16 to start.
Ah, amazing.
These guys out so they're not bugging us. I'll fly around a little bit. And again,
That's a good question. Someone asked how many players maximum in multiplayer. I think I remember it was 5 on each side right now. Is that correct, Scott?
Right. So it's basically 11 because you can have 5 escorts and 5 pirates on any particular mission. We may go up or down. It's not really a technical limitation. It's more just what's fun, what's too many ships. Again, we're trying to keep these missions quick. However, there will be full PvP contested zones, which we're going to allow as many as we possibly can, all to be there at the same time, where it's more
yeah, battle royale, right?
Yeah, almost. Yeah, it should be really cool. I'm just gonna skip out of this real quick just to kind of show a couple others really, really fast while we're in here. Let's do another courier to here. This is a pretty cool sector. I like that.
So beautiful.
Oh, that's nice. Wow.
This is probably the first time a lot of you guys have seen this stuff too.
Yeah, wow.
I love the green ore too. That's really cool.
Very
And
kryptonite feeling.
right now we just have asteroids as the obstacles. Even though the map is different every time, it's just the same sort of asteroids. We're going to be building all kinds of different things like ice crystals and broken ship parts and all kinds of different stuff to fly around. Space is really boring if it's empty, and so you want to have something to always fly around, make it more interesting, make your dogfights a little more strategic.
Yeah, and speaking to that, you'll have like customizable ship trails and different visual effects out. You'll be able to customize in game, so that keeps it really cool and like adds to that visual dynamic that you were just talking about too.
Let's pick.
Didn't you say, Scott, that like that you based the fighting that you wanted to base it or influenced on like World War II dogfights and stuff?
Well, so one of the things we figured out with space flights is at really high speeds, it's not really a dogfighting game, and so it's much more fun to actually dogfight at more like World War II speeds than it is at, the speeds you'd actually be traveling in space, but you'd just be lines like flipping past each other. So we tried to make it a little more fun, a little more varied. So here's another sector. This is cool. Sometimes there'll be random wreckage out you can find in space, and when you interact with it, there could be all kinds of stuff that happens. It could be a trap, there could be loot inside, nothing there, and it could even be a bomb or it blows up. So there's all kinds of different stuff that happens with the wreckage that you find out here. All right, I'll do a couple more, and then I'll do a mining mission to kind of wrap it up so you can kind of see what that looks like too. Let's see, let's try. Oh yeah, I like this one. Green.
You can't go wrong with green and purple, right?
Yeah. So yeah, here's the sector, which I really like. And I'll show one more, and then I'll do a mining mission and kind of wrap from there.
So beautiful. Wow.
And again, this is just the beginning. Like there'll be player-owned stations and guilds, and we have all kinds of amazing stuff coming. This is just sort of the very, very first, phase that we're going to let people in, and it'll only grow from here. So let's show off this. So if I had taken a patrol, I would be going in it would be guiding me through the patrol points in the map I'd have to go. Mining helps me find the ore hidden deep in the asteroid. So every station you go to is going to be, or every sector is going to be a little different based on the mission. I like this one with the white sun. Take some cover here behind the asteroid. Yeah, I really like this sector too. All right, let's go back and let's do a mining mission. Make sure I have room where I do it. Yep. Again, you can kind of see like the area I was just in, you can see like I'm in a different spot. So let's do a mining mission. So when I fly in the asteroids, you can see like it's lighting up the ore for me. And so I have to basically fly inside these rocks down into the glowy area to find the different ore. And when
That is so cool.
I can mine the ore.
Beautiful.
Wow, that is very alien skin texture.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Cool.
I'm all about the mining missions, of course, with my background. So
Yeah, I was doing some research the other day of sort of what are these elements actually used for and how they all work. I don't know. I was thinking while I was doing it, I'm just like, I bet Mo knows all the answers to all of these right off the top of his head.
yeah, it's a longtime geology nerd here for sure.
So you can see, like, each time I'm killing these guys, it's dropping loot, and that's really what you're going to be doing. You're always going to be looking for that better piece of equipment. How do you improve it? And once player-owned stations get involved, that's when your players are going to start being their own manufacturing and choosing what it is you want to build, and all the better equipment will all come from players. The sort of 16 stations are really just sort of like the base starting stations for it all. So that's when the economy will really start to get fun, is when players are actually creating their own manufacturing, building their own items. Noctuous is actually on the chat with us now. He actually helped design a whole lot of that system. So it's something I'm really, really excited about. I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, Marcus is amazing and very helpful for the project. It really is infinite, right? I mean, like, this can keep building and growing and just getting bigger and different forever. That's, what's really incredible about a project like this.
Yeah, that's the idea. And we'll constantly be, each sort of tier of items is always going to need stuff from the previous tier. So hopefully that'll also help the MMO problem of once a game has been played too long, only people play in the high level sectors. Well, each tier was going to need an item from the previous, and so it'll go all the way back to the first level area. So there'll always be a need for all of the different commodities throughout everything in the game.
Wow, yeah, that's incredible. I think it's really important for the fun of gameplay to do that, right? Because otherwise, kind of like, the only goal is to get to the highest level of the game, and then people forget about all the different fun parts and the lore and everything that builds upon that.
So you can see, like, now I got this canopy, and it's telling me, like, okay, you can have this shield, and it has both a better recharge rate and a better max charge. So if I wanted to build this, I would need to go collect these things and take them to this station, and then I would be able to build the item and equip it, and now my ship's a little bit better. The one other thing I should show really quick, it's not very exciting to look at, but I'll kind of show you guys to kind of take a look. So anytime you do a mission, again, this is sort of it's all player control. This drop down, once you're a little bit higher level, will unlock the multiple play styles. So it's always the person making the mission in control of the type of mission, whether they want single player, multiplayer, whatever. But there's also difficulties, and difficulties 1 to 5 are going to make the ships you fight tougher, but also the XP reward and the payout if you're doing another mission higher. So it's always difficult when you're making a game that's based on skill and not just dice rolls, to make it balanced for everybody, because some people are really good and some people are not. And so you're also able to control the difficulty, and that'll also affect your rewards.
That's really cool, because when you take a mission, right, you construct it with the people you're playing with in mind. So that way you can always dynamically change, like you said, the hardness to suit like the players and the skills for people that are jumping in with you.
Yep. And I'll turn off the screen share. It's probably the end of the demo, but if there's people have questions, I'm happy to stick around and answer more.
Scott, can you go into the thought process for warping and not being stuck in space and flying long distances?
Sure. So, like, one of the big design goals was we didn't want a lot of space games, you end up flying in a straight line for a long time and nothing happens at all. And so we wanted to kind of change that. So we had this idea that the warp nexus is this thing that connects all the sectors to one. So where most space games have this big spiderweb looking map of space, and to get from one side to the other could take hours, and if your friend's on the other side, it might take hours before you can even play together. We wanted to change all that. since we started the design, if you look at something like The Expanse, if anybody read those books or watched the show, they actually have the same idea of that there's actually this gate that connects all the sectors through the one place. And so you're always only one jump away from anywhere you want to go. That's how Warp Nexus works.
Yeah, and if you go into like the lore of it, PALs give you the access and the navigation and power to go through those, right?
Yeah, it's too complex to navigate through the stars for a human, and so you must have a PAL. They're kind of, in that sense, they're sort of similar to like an astromech from Star Wars, like R2-D2, and also kind of the navigators from Dune, where they're the only ones who after they take, so much spice that they turn into weird octopus thing that they're able to like see space and time and able to travel it. So in our fictional world, that's what a PAL is, and that's why you have to have a PAL to be able to navigate. And so if you own a PAL, they come with you and they level up and they get all these kind of cool bonuses they unlock. And if you don't own a PAL, you effectively have to rent one, and that's what will cost pass points each time you fly.
You heard it here. Get those PALs now, people. Don't wait.
That's right. I mean, imagine if there was something you could have bought for, World of Warcraft or something else similar that meant you never had to pay a monthly fee ever again. That's what a PAL is going to give you. It gives you unlimited access to the game forever.
Yeah, it really is ground floor investment, right? Because the game is just going to keep expanding and growing from here. This is like a really early opportunity to do something different and special and be involved in the very early stages of building.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you have other questions. Are you guys watching?
There's a question about views too, like different types of views from your ship.
Oh, right. So there's right now there's first person and third person, where basically you're behind the ship and you see your ship, or you go inside and you don't see anything. Eventually we'll add a cockpit view as well, where you get the whole 3D ship around you. I've learned there's no right answer for that there's people who will swear that whatever the view they like best is the only one you should support. So we're going to support all three. You'll be able to follow the ship, be inside with the 3D cockpit, or be inside with no cockpit at all, whatever you like.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Does anyone else have any more questions for us while we're here? That was an amazing overview. Thank you so much, Scott, for running us through the areas in the game and the economy. And,
Yeah.
I hope that people are starting to get excited about what we're building here.
Yeah, well, it's your first chance to actually see your all the amazing NFTs for STARL since the launch over a year ago. It's now this build is going to be the first time you actually get to see that. You get to see your pixel nods, you get to see your living modules, and you get to see your PALs in game. That's all coming with this next version.
Yeah, it's so cool. It really is like the beginning of customizing your environment to suit how you want to look, how you want to engage in the game. I'm incredibly excited. I can't wait to have Mo's penthouse and bar up and running so we can all have a nice party there.
Absolutely.
Scott, yeah, how you doing? When it comes to the flying modes, have you guys thought about just having like an open flying session? Like you don't accept a mission if you just want to fly around and chill out for a while?
That is not part of the game.
Okay.
Right now, it's completely mission based. So, in order to go to space, you have to take a mission to fly. So, basically the simplest mission you can take is the courier. So you could just say, "Hey, I want to go check out this sector of space." Take a courier mission there. You're pretty much always going to have conflict when you go into a sector, but then once it's gone, you can fly around as long as you like before you take off and move on. So that's the best way to go visit something, is probably just a courier mission.
Yep.
But
maybe in the future we'll have an eject button and you just hurtle through space.
Yeah, you got to put in a bit of work before you can chill out. I get it.
Yeah.
Everything's looking great though, man. The mission styles and everything, maps, everything, really impressed with everything that's going on.
Awesome. hopefully we'll get to do a conversation again, Obi, but this time in space. We'll chat with each other while we're flying around together on mission.
Partner up with
Yeah, that'll
some
be great.
pirates, try and have a podcast at the same time. Sounds good to me. That would be
I'll
cool.
be your wingman anytime.
Like, so one of the things too, having music or background noise during missions. Have you guys thought about anything like that? Having radios or anything while you're doing missions?
Right now, we have a chatter system that they don't really show off there, but it's kind of like, it's if you think of like a Star Wars example where they're going in and, it's like red leader, red one calling off, and they all sign off before they go in. And then as it's going on, you've got people saying like, hey, get off of me or whatever. So that whole chatter system is going to be going on, but we don't have like a listen to different music or something like that radio system.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So the chat is just kind of like going to set the scene for whatever mission you're on?
It's just to give you more information about what's happening, right? So when your escorts engage an enemy, they might tell you they're going in, and if someone's about to die, they might be like, "You got to help me now," right? Like that kind of stuff. And then of course, it's one of the cool things of the PALs is where if you own a PAL, PALs can unlock different personalities. So you could have a PAL that's like very passive, or sort of C-3PO, like the odds of surviving this or whatever, right? Or you could have like a military commander. So there's a lot of different PAL personalities that'll unlock where they'll be sort of giving you commentary about what's going on. You'll still get a commentary if you don't own a PAL. It'll just be the standard commentary.
Gotcha. Any chance of like randomization of different standards in quotes?
I guess it's possible, but again, you have to own a PAL to get all those different.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I definitely need a cynic along with me.
Yeah, thanks, Obi. Those are great questions, man. Really appreciate those. Does anyone else have any questions for us before we conclude for the evening?
I'm trying to watch for people type, but I don't see anything. So
Yeah, I'm splitting my attention between the two screens too. Well,
you could
Scott, any closing words then before we split for the evening?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, we're all on the STARL official channel all the time, and so if you guys have questions, you can ask anytime, and we'll try to get everything answered. And we're looking forward to getting everyone in and flying around and fighting each other here very soon.
Yeah, thanks for joining everyone tonight. And like Scott said, we try to be as accessible as possible at all times to our community. You're what makes STARL great, and we're so thankful for everyone's support. So thank you so much for joining tonight, and we'll see you out there in the STARL Metaverse.
If you get a chance, can you also drop in the chat what your favorite thing was that you learned about during this chat, please? Thanks for joining us, everybody. Do this again soon.
Yeah,
Thanks all.
yeah. Let us know. Let us know what you like. Also, let me know what you don't like, and we'll try to make that better too.
Yeah, we're open to criticism, certainly. Thanks,
sure.
everyone.
Yeah, thank you. All right, bye.
Have a great night.